teach near leg, near shoulder tackling, not hitting with your head.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's really, really important.
Yeah.
I think it makes the game safer. I think there's a lot of ways that you teach drills, all right, where players don't have to be on the ground, all right, and they can use their hands rather than their head, all right, to minimize contact. And I think a lot of these things are really, really important. Most players that get hurt in football get hurt on the ground. You know, somebody's rolling around on the ground and somebody else falls on them or whatever. So to stay off the ground and teach people how to stay up. These are all things that I think promote safety in the game. And I think the biggest mistake that we make in football is you don't have to have full contact to be able to get the benefit from the game.
Yeah.
You know, you can go out and practice 7-on-7. You can practice routes on air. You can practice one-on-one. You can practice a lot of things and get a lot out of the game of football without having to have contact. And I think there's certainly been a lot of studies done on how much contact young people before they're 12 years old should have. And I think we should all take all those things into account, and we are going to do everything we can to promote better education in the coaches to teach the players safety in our game. You know, my dad's old saying was, no man stands as tall as when he stoops to help a child. So that's what we tried to carry on, and we're going to try to continue that in the future.
Welcome into Giants Postgame Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz, the official luxury automobile of the New York Football Giants. I'm Madelyn Burke, joined by Super Bowl champion Shaun O'Hara, Super Bowl champion Victor Cruz. Fellas, this was a rough one on Monday Night Football. The Giants went down to Tampa, fell to the defending Super Bowl champs 30-10. Of course, you know, Tampa coming off 2 straight losses the way that they did, we knew they were going to bring their A game, but there was just a lot that went wrong for this Giants team tonight.
Yeah, Matt, I don't know if there's ever a good time to play Tom Brady and the defending Super Bowl champs, but coming off of the 2 losses, you knew they were going to be hyped up, they were going to be ready to rock and roll. And really for the Giants offense, you just knew that they needed some points and they needed some offensive production to only come away with 10 points. You're not going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with that kind of offensive production. And I think that's the most frustrating part about tonight. And it's, you know, when you look at what happened and what Washington did the week before the Bucs, Washington with Taylor Heineke, their backup quarterback, they were able to score 29 points and come away with a victory. So you thought, hey, the Giants, you know, there's going to be some elements, some creativity. Saquon Barkley's back, and they just never got into a rhythm. If you would have told me, Victor Cruz, that the only Giants player to have a receiving touchdown was Andrew Thomas, the offensive lineman, I don't think anybody would have believed you.
Saddens me, Shaun O'Hara, because you knew that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were going to come in after losing 2 games, after understanding what they've been through. They're going to come in with their best foot forward, and we just never matched that intensity. We never matched their level of play. We never matched their level of execution. And I think, I mean, obviously having a guy, you know, as a wide receiver, not being able to get in the end zone, not be able to get that type of execution from your players, from your offense, it's just tough to watch, and it was tough to watch all game long, and it was tough to see the defense not be able to get a lot of pressure on Tom Brady throughout the course of the game. He was back there making the decisions he wanted to make, getting the ball to his playmakers, and that was just one of those things that the defense has to clean up, and the offense has to do a better job of executing in games that they're supposed to know what the other team is coming, how they're coming at them, and being able to combat that.
I think that point you talked about, the pass rush. There was no pass rush tonight. And if you're playing Tom Brady, you have to get him off his spot. You have to move him around. Look, the Bucs had the ball for 14 more minutes. You know what that means? That means the Giants couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. And look, I get it. You're playing too high. You're playing 2 safeties deep. You're not going to give up the big play. And yet, if you do that, you have to find a way to tackle guys. You can't continue to give up first downs on third down. You have to find a way to get off the field. And really, when you watch this game tonight, it was two totally different offenses, right? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had all day long Tom Brady right here. He's making a sandwich back here in this pocket. Look at how much time he has to make this throw to Rob Gronkowski. No pressure. When you look at the Giants offense, Daniel Jones was under duress constantly. He never had time to wait for something to develop down the field, and he felt like he was harassed all game long. That, to me, was the biggest thing that you could see all night long. It was no time for Daniel Jones and no pass rush on Tom Brady.
Yeah, no pass rush. I mean, Tom Brady had 46 dropbacks in this game, 0 sacks on number 12 right there, and that was a tough stat to see. But you guys mentioned, the offense as well. Saquon Barkley, of course, back in this game. People were excited to see that. He had 25 yards on the ground, added a few more in the receiving game as well. But, getting the offense going was a tough thing. I mean, we saw them trying to get creative with it early on. We saw in that first half, Kadarius Toney in the Wildcat taking a snap, launching a deep ball. But as you can see right here, too, Toney, he's got an arm, this young man. Tries to hit Darius Slayton. Originally, the officials throw the flag, but they end up picking it up. Why is this not pass interference, Vic?
I'm confused, honestly. I mean, as a receiver, there's early contact. He goes to the ground. Regardless if they're fighting, I understand they probably thought they're just fighting for the ball while it's in the air. He visibly grabs his arm before the ball gets there and throws him to the ground. So I was a little confused on why that flag was picked up.
Well, listen, if they don't throw the flag, you get it, right? Hey, they're letting them play. But the fact that there was a flag thrown, clearly, incidental contact is one thing if you collide, if your legs collide. But to your point, there was definitely some. He grabbed his wrist, right?
Yeah,
he had a
exactly.
hold of it. So the flag's there for a reason. And for them to pick that up, that was definitely a huge play right there because it looked like, all right, hey, you've got the big play. You think maybe he's going to make the catch. You get the penalty. All right, now you have a shot to get some sort of points.
That's
even
a
if it's a field
momentum
goal.
shift.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? That's a momentum shift that turns the tide for your offense. Now everybody's pumped up. They're ready to go. Maybe you get in the end zone on that next play. Those are just momentum shifters that you wish you had in your favor.
And as the official, you already did the hard part. You already threw the flag. You don't need to control, alt, delete
Trust
it.
your
It's already
gut.
out there.
Trust
It's
your
laundry
gut,
day right there. You got to trust the gut. But, we did see some positive plays as well. We got to mention this. I mean, early on, Adoree Jackson comes up with that pick. That was also a pivotal point because that could have been a strong drive for Tampa. But Adoree, of course, comes away with the ball here, puts the Giants in optimal position.
Yeah, this is great to see. Obviously, Adoree Jackson has some ups and downs this season with some injuries. Good to see him in there, making the heads-up play. Anytime the ball goes up in the air, it's our defense's job to come down with it. And he did the best he could to make a play out of it, and the offense punched it in.
And that, of course, led to the touchdown that Shaun mentioned earlier. Andrew Thomas,
The big
number
man.
78. We saw the big man
athletic, too.
working on some of these receiving drills in practice earlier this week, and now we know exactly why.
man.
Because look at this man high point
Is this
this.
a lineman's dream, Shaun?
Look at him.
No
Is this
doubt
a
about
dream?
And then the celebration, the perfectly choreographed.
Madelyn, maybe you could break down what that dance was as a group, but you can see right here, look at Andrew Thomas. He caught a 2-yard touchdown pass in this segment. That's the first Giants O-line touchdown since 1950.
Wow.
The Giants actually threw one to Phil Simms threw one to George Martin. I think it was back in the late 80s or 90s. But as an offensive lineman, big props to Andrew Thomas. Just look, so that we can all keep it real right now and be cool with the young kids. They're calling these plays the thick six. Right, thick six. We got pick six.
Huh?
We got thick six.
I like
so
that.
that's
There's
what
a
we're
little
doing.
ring
That's
to
the new
it.
hashtag
There's a
right
ring.
there.
Thick
six for Andrew
thick
Thomas.
six.
To it, a little ring to
And
it.
we got to shout out our own Giants.com's Michael Eisen, who points out that Andrew Thomas is the first Giants lineman to catch a touchdown pass since 1970 after the merger. So a little Pete Rozelle thing there, too. But, as a lineman, catching a touchdown pass, Victor, I feel like it's got to be such a specific experience. Do you know anybody who has had an experience?
I feel like I know someone pretty
like
close
this
to us that
might
kind
have.
of that
God,
it
do we have
happened
any
to.
video of this by chance?
Oh, I know what's going on.
my God.
Why
I
is
mean,
it
you
so
can tell.
HD?
You can tell.
Why is it so grainy?
Where you at, Shaun?
Oh,
there he is.
The
Oh, boy.
Hillsborough Comet.
Clearly, that's in HD right there. A little blurry. Yeah, Tim Couch, listen, I mean, I didn't go up and high point it like Andrew Thomas, but Vic, the ball was a little bit behind me there, and that's not always easy to
You gotta
adjust.
pop the hit. We work on that,
sometimes you gotta
bro.
make a
And
play.
look at this, Shaun O'Hara making the graphic on this
that.
show as well of the youngest offensive lineman in the NFL to catch a touchdown pass. Andrew Thomas at 22, Shaun O'Hara at 24. You know what? We
Young
got
and
love.
chubby.
In good company.
Yeah,
In good
the
company.
whites were not a good look either. When we
white on
went
white?
white jersey on white pants when I was in Cleveland, that was not a good look.
Hey, it's what the Giants wore today on Monday
Exactly.
Night Football. So,
Exactly.
hey,
Yeah.
we've seen a little consistent trend. All right, we got a lot more coming up on the show. We'll be back with more after this break. We'll hear from Coach Joe Judge and a few of the players as Giants Postgame Live continues. But guests of our postgame show receive a gift certificate to Ben & Jack's located on 44th Street in Manhattan. From the celebrated porterhouse to finer seafood, Ben & Jack's will surpass your expectations of what a steakhouse should be. All right, Joe Judge and much more after the break. Stay with us on Giants Postgame Live.
Ebenezer. Ebenezer. Really? First, you will see the past.
Excuse me,
And then the present. And finally, Ebenezer, the future.
Introducing the all-electric EQS. Happy holidays from Mercedes-Benz.
With DraftKings Sportsbook's latest offer, new customers can bet just $1 on any NFL game and win $100 if any point is scored. A chip shot field goal? You win. A TD pass? You win. A sack in the offense's own end zone, thereby resulting in a safety awarded to the defense? Yeah, you win. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Sign up with the promo code. Bet $1 to win $100 if any point is scored, and make it rain with an official sports betting partner of the NFL.
90 years in the game.
And counting.
This is our house.
We built this house.
It wasn't easy. We had to rewrite the playbook.
You gotta have the right plays. That's how you do it.
Who's the MVP?
I am.
John.
She is.
Without me, this wouldn't exist.
We gotta bring everybody in.
Because that's how we all win.
I'll tell you, I loved every minute of my time playing for the New York Giants. It was a huge part of my life. These days, I still carry my team spirit with me every time I use my Giants debit card from Investors Bank.
Open a New York Giants checking account from Investors Bank with free cell phone and ID theft protection. Plus, you can earn up to $250.
Once a Giant, always a Giant. And now, I'm a fan too.
Open a Giants checking account online today.
The Hess truck's back. It's a cargo plane and jet flying through the sky. This year, the Hess truck's here.
This holiday season, Hess gives you twice the high-flying action. The huge cargo plane has lights and a rear-loading cargo bay. Unfold the jet wings and take flight with button and motion-activated sounds. Free shipping and Energizer batteries included. Only at HessToyTruck.com.
A tradition each year. The Hess truck's here.
Happy holidays from Hess.
This is my first time trying on glasses at home.
So cute! 5 different ways from Warby Parker.
Oh, this one's better. Ooh. Ah. Hey.
The virtual try-on is perfect. Like, they look like they're on my face. Like, look at this. Just swipe and switch.
These are definitely a keeper.
I think these are the one. Ooh, these look good.
That was so easy. They make it so fun and fabulous.
Giants fans, scan here right now and you can win big prizes from Big Blue every week. Just for watching Giants Postgame Live on MSG and entering a special keyword at MSGNetworks.com. You can win tickets, signed merch, and more. Giants Postgame Live Watch and Win Sweepstakes. Sign up now.
Just let it ride, people. Jets fans, you know who this is.
This is the time. That's my short shot.
Y'all never say I let my fandom get in the way of a good bet.
You're gonna have a revenge game.
They're gonna win, and I also think they can get the first touchdown.
Let's talk about the spread.
That's what we're doing here on Betting Exchange.
Live on MSG. Join us.
Welcome back, Giants fans. Here's another chance to see the Giants play in person. Watch them take on the Philadelphia Eagles next week by entering the Giants Postgame Live Watch and Win Sweepstakes. Scan the QR code on the screen with your smartphone or go directly to MSGNetworks.com to sign up. And this week's keyword is rivalry. Very appropriate for this matchup, of course. Rivalry week. Can you say that 5 times fast? Use it when you sign up for your chance to win the tickets and a parking pass to next week's game against the Philadelphia Eagles back at MetLife Stadium. Rivalry is an appropriate word for that one. We need to get these Giants fans out there to support this team because you guys know that matchup is going to be one that they need a lot of blue in the stands
we
for.
We don't like the birds very much. You know, I mean, we know Eli showed the bird on TV a couple times.
Two of them.
Double bird, but we do not like the birds.
I'm not a fan of anything green around here, I think. Between
True.
Philly, between
True.
the other New York team, I don't think we're.
We
a
like
fan
money,
of, we don't
like your suit, but
I mean, hey, you know what?
Sort of where we're going.
We got to get these fans some of these tickets so that they can get down to the game and see Michael Strahan have his jersey retired as well. All right, we're going to send it down to Tampa Bay where Bob Papa, Carl Banks, and Howard Cross, who are on the call for this game, have more. Fellas?
Madelyn, this is a tough one to explain in the sense that the Giants had been playing well before the bye, and you know, Carl and Howard, they came out and they pretty much laid an egg. I mean, this game was 10-10. They had to drive to start the third quarter, didn't get that fourth and a yard and a half, and it all unraveled for this team.
Yeah, it just seems that there's like no cohesion. I think they kind of got a few things figured out on defense enough to hold the rope in hopes that the offense could get something going, but it was not complimentary football, and I think in all phases they broke down.
I mean, White kind of wrecked the game from an offensive standpoint for us. Coming up the middle over and over again, whether it's on the guards or sometimes center, even the back, he was getting a lot of guys and just blowing up the play from the beginning, run and pass.
Yeah, Devin White, a very disruptive player in this game, but the Giants knew that coming in. I think the thing that's alarming about this game, guys, is the big question marks about this team coming into the season. Could they protect the quarterback and run the ball, and could they get pressure? Now, the Bucs had a really good game plan early. Brady, a lot of short passes. They were like extended runs. But then when they started to get more confident, he was never really under pressure. So no pass rush, no blocking on the offensive side. It's pretty hard to function.
It is hard to function, and then, when you don't have a pass rush, it's hard to cover all the way down the field, and it just did not feel like a cohesive unit, and this is probably the worst loss. I mean, they've had some bad ones, but this one feels the worst of all of the losses this year.
Yeah, especially because they had been playing well. You had the Monday night game against Kansas City, the win against Carolina, the win against the Raiders, and then to lay an egg like this tonight. And again, points are a problem. They came in averaging 19 points a game. They scored 10. The Bucs had given up 32.5 points a game over the last two, 22.6 for the season. And Howard, this is a recurring theme. They don't score enough points.
They don't score enough points. They can't figure out how to get the ball into the end zone, the red zone. They can't figure out how to continue to keep drives alive, which is kind of tough. When they get behind the sticks at all, if it's second and long, it seems like they're behind the sticks, and it's tough on them. So yeah, I'm not really sure how they're going to kind of correct it. I know they just got to stay after it.
Well, they do have to stay after it. And what I find perplexing is that some of the players that could help you in the red zone are not on the field. A guy like Kenny Galladay, who makes a living in the red zone, just is not factoring into your offense, and that's kind of perplexing. So they've got to, and here's the other thing too. They spent the whole bye week supposedly self-evaluating to see how they could get better, and then you come out and this is what it is. So I mean, this one, I can tell you guys, this one feels worse than the other losses.
And also more injuries with Kyle Rudolph going down and guys getting banged up. And Saquon stepping out late in the game. That's a little rough.
Yeah, now the Giants have a short week. Philadelphia's coming in. They're playing better. They got guys that can get after the quarterback, and they have a different style offense. And this team is going to be testing. What you put on tape is going to go a long way in if you will remain employed in the National Football League moving forward. So they better figure something out really fast, because 3-7 can spiral out of control as we send it back to the studio.
Thanks so much, fellas. Absolutely. And, as Carl mentioned as well, this is a tough loss, probably the worst loss that they've seen from this team. But there was an interesting element, too. I mean, they won the coin toss, deferred to get the ball at the beginning of the second half, come out and they're driving down the field, go forward on 4th and 1 at the 25 instead of kicking a field goal, and don't make that conversion here. And as you can see, this is the play that they went for it on 4th and 1. I think we all had kind of our own reactions watching this, but Shaun, what were your thoughts here?
I like the decision to go for it, being aggressive. Look, you're down 7 points, got to get back into the game. I didn't love the call. you could see Tampa Bay was ready for it. I mean, the corner was sitting there waiting for Saquon Barkley to come out in the flat. So they had already scouted the Giants. They knew what Jason Garrett liked to call on fourth down situations like that. You've got a quarterback that can run, and you've got Saquon Barkley. On fourth down and 1, I'm an offensive lineman, but let us get downhill. Let us get that 1 yard. And I thought that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think I didn't like the call as much either. I think in a fourth down play like that, you have to go into your playbook and go into what works for you. Get that one play that you know your team has worked on all week long, that they can execute at a high level, and that you can get Daniel Jones in an opportunistic position in order for him to either deliver the ball down the field or put it in Saquon's belly and do what he needs to do with it. So that was the only part that was disappointing, was the fact that you didn't trust the play call for them to come out and execute something that they're used to doing or something that they can hang their hats on.
Absolutely, because you understand that field goals aren't going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You got to score touchdowns. So I absolutely understand going for it there as well. All right, we got a lot more coming up on the show. We're going to hear from head coach Joe Judge and a few of the players after the break. Stay with us as Giants Postgame Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz, the official luxury automobile of the New York Giants, continues after this.
At Yield Street, investment opportunities that have traditionally been reserved for only the ultra-wealthy are now available to you. With a single investment, the Yield Street Prism Fund gives you access to a portfolio of alternative asset classes. With expected 8% distributions paid quarterly, the Yield Street Prism Fund can help you realize your financial goals. Start as low as $1K and take your portfolio to the next level.
This Black Friday, get holiday ready with Ford. America's best-selling trucks are here and capable SUVs are rolling out. Get great offers on the Ford that's right for you, like Ford Explorer, America's all-time best-selling SUV, and Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 44 years straight. So this Black Friday, get holiday ready with Ford. Get 0% financing for 60 months on select Ford SUVs. View more Black Friday deals at buyfordnow.com.
There's something in the air, out of the silence. It all starts now. It all starts now. It all starts now.
Pike's Peak, named after Zebulon Pike, who never made it to the top. Of course, he didn't own a sedan from our Sport Tune GT lineup. Well, Zebulon, this one's for you. Lease a new 2021 Forte LXS for $139 a month.
Every day, nearly 2 million customers across New Jersey rely on PSE&G to provide natural gas. And every day, PSE&G is committed to doing it safely. That includes making sure you know what to do if you smell gas. A natural gas leak smells like rotten eggs. If you suspect a gas leak, leave your home immediately. Get far away, then call 911. Remember, smell, leave, call. Protect the ones you love. Learn more at pseg.com/gas safety.
Want more NBA action? Jump into League Pass and watch live games anywhere. Watch more dunks, more buzzer beaters, and more moments all season long. Follow your favorite teams. Discover rising stars or scout conference rivals.
Way downtown.
NBA League Pass brings the game to you. Subscribe today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. Donate your car at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a cat. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll also get a vacation voucher and a tax deduction. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Tonight's scoring drive of the game is brought to you by Investors Bank. Get the official New York Giants checking account only from Investors Bank. Visit investorsbank.com/Giants for more details. For the drive of the game, we take you to the second quarter. Tom Brady on offense, but you know what? Throws an interception. Adoree Jackson comes up with his first pick of the year, sets the Giants up in great territory. Second down, Daniel Jones finds, yes, Andrew Thomas, the left tackle, reported eligible. The big man scores his first touchdown, and look at what a celebration it was. You gotta love these thick sixes right here, as we're calling them on this program. Investors Bank drive of the game, 2 plays, 5 yards, took 39 seconds off the clock, but it was an effective 39 seconds, capped off with that 2-yard receiving touchdown by, yes, Andrew Thomas. All right, that's a wrap for our Investors Bank scoring drive of the game. Now we'll send it down to Tampa, where head coach Joe Judge is addressing the media.
What's going on, guys? All right, give credit to the Buccaneers, a well-coached team, very talented, and obviously they deserve to win tonight. Generally speaking, we have to do everything better. We didn't do anything really well enough to win the game tonight. Can't make mistakes with turnovers, penalties, and mental errors. We've got to make sure we put our players in a better position through coaching. Got to make sure we have the opportunity to make plays. And that being said, our folks will shift to Philadelphia. We have a 6-day week turnaround for division opponent. We'll begin immediately tomorrow, getting ready for the next opponent. But we're not going to turn the page on this as coaches until we make sure all the corrections are made. So that being said, I'll open to any questions you have.
Joe, what did you think of your players' body language tonight when things started going wrong? Particularly thinking after, you guys tied at 10-10. They come right down, make it 17-10. At that point, did you think that your guys responded well? Our
guys stayed in tune to the game. I thought they did, especially, through the first. I know the part you're talking about when it went down to 17-10. I thought our guys were in tune to the game, competitive. Look, down the stretch, I got to look at some things on tape before I make any, assessments. But we got to make sure we do a better job putting our players in positions to have success. And then we got to go out there and we got to execute and finish the plays when they're in front of us.
Joe, on that 4th and 1 play there.
First drive, second half.
Yeah. So were you rushing to the line to beat the clock there, or was that part of the strategy? And then what were the options there for Daniel?
I'm not going to go through a complete play dissection. In terms of the tempo of the line, that was part of the strategy right there. We have different tempos like every team does as far as mixing them in at different times. That one right there was as far as, moving to the line, obviously for a quick snap off a direct read. So obviously it didn't work.
What happened before halftime? It looked like ran that play, the clock kind of ran down, and then you guys called timeout, and then as opposed to calling timeout right away, I was just curious what the thought process was.
Yeah, they had multiple timeouts. I want to make sure we can move the ball in position right there. Let's get a shot at the end zone.
How would you assess Daniel's play tonight?
Say again?
How would you assess Daniel's play tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to look at the tape before I make any final assessments on individual players.
What about your offense as a whole? What do you make of that? You scored 10 points, 3 of them came, hit the ball at the 5-yard line.
We got to do a better job scoring points. I know it sounds pretty obvious and to the point with it, but I'm going to keep it just very blunt on that right there. We got to do a better job putting our players in position to make plays. We have too many good players. We got to put them in a better position to capitalize on it. That's it. We got to make sure, we sit down tomorrow as a coaching staff and understand how we got to play this game and give our players a chance to make plays. So in reference to any kind of body language or anything at the end of the game, I'll handle the corrections we got to make. All right. But as a player, there's some things I'd be frustrated too with as well.
What thing would that be?
I'm going to keep that between the team right there. But
Do you still have faith in Jason Garrett as your offensive coordinator?
I have faith in all the people on our team, players, coach, everything. But, look, we'll assess everything as a team, make any move we need to going forward.
Is he going to be your
I'm not going to go into that right now.
Joe, do you think at times today on offense, the offensive line did not give you guys a chance to, get a successful play going?
I thought at times the guys protected very well, especially early when we played the game the way we talked about playing it throughout the week, and we called it the way we, talked about calling it throughout the week and giving the guys an opportunity to push the ball down the field. We had a lot of shots down the field. Some we capitalized on, some drew penalties, some, whatever they ended up down the field, had opportunities. We got into a mix at the end of the game. We're behind. Obviously they knew we were going to throw. We got to change it up more now. We got to make sure that, we call the game, give our players a better chance for success.
We've asked you if you're going to make a change with the coordinator. You've always flatly said no. You understand?
Let's not read too far into this right now, Dan. I respect and understand the question, but I'm going to stay off that right now.
Ideally you want to produce on all sides of the ball in all games, but this is a game where you have basically all your skill guys back and your back except for Sterling, right? So would you have thought that you guys would have done a lot more than you did offensively?
I expect us to produce at a higher level. Let's keep it at that. My expectations are pretty high, and I'm not compromising for anybody.
How does Kenny only go through a game and have one target?
Say again, Dan.
How does Kenny go through a game and only have one target?
He had more than one, but it wasn't enough. So he had more than one, but it wasn't enough. We'll make sure we correct that.
You seem more upset today than you have been, in the past. What about this is bothering you more than you've seen?
I wouldn't read too far right now versus any other time. I think you come out of a game like this, you prepare extremely hard for. You knew they're a tough opponent. You know there's a way you have to play the game. I get frustrated for the players. All right, hold up a second. I stay late and I wake up early because I want to see the players have success. Like, let's not make a mistake about that. Like, my only concern is the team success. And when I say team, it starts with the players. They're the most important part of the team. So when the guys work hard throughout the week, I want to make sure they have an opportunity to reap the benefits of that hard work. All right, now that comes down to coaching and playing. Guys got to execute plays too, and I got to look at the tape, make sure we make the corrections, where it sees fit. But I've got to make sure, from my standpoint, that I get this completely right for the players to go out there. If they can play aggressive and understand where we're in a position to have success. So, to be honest with you, I don't think anybody works, the hours, and comes away without success and just sits on back and says, that's okay, we'll go get them next time. So that's not really in my DNA. It's not really in our demeanor, okay? I'm going to keep, more of a constant, consistent approach and attitude with the players. They know what to expect from me on a daily basis. I'm always going to be the same with them. Win or lose, they're going to know what to expect. But I'm going to be very direct and be very honest and be very blunt. I'm going to make sure they understand that I care about them, respect them as a person, but also that means, pushing them in a position that they have to get outside their comfort level. That all being said, when the players do that and they respond the way we ask them to and they work the way we ask them to, I expect to be in a position to produce more than we have. I expect to produce at a high level. I've said that from the beginning. I'm not going to compromise that from anyone. I've got a vision of this team that we're going to build towards, and we're going to get that right. I'm not taking shortcuts. I'm not thinking short term, but everything stacks in a long-term vision.
What do you say to the people, though, who are sitting there saying, hey, we're waiting for this vision. How much longer do we have to wait?
Look, it's not your job to be patient. It's not the fans' job to be patient. It's our job to go out there, all right, and give them something to cheer about. So let's just be clear about that right now. Fans buy tickets. Whatever they want to say in the stands, they've bought that right to do that. Fans support us. Fans watch us at home, okay? They root for us. They pull for us. We appreciate that. It's our job to give them something to be proud of. It's not their job to, have blind faith in us. We've got to go out there and we have to work and put ourselves in a position that the fan base has something to cheer for, okay? So, look, I take this very personally, all right? I'm a man of my word. When I look in the camera and I tell people of New York, New Jersey, the fan base area, when I tell them we're going to give you something to be proud of, I'm not asking you to be patient. That's not your job. I'm telling you we're going to put something on the field you can be proud of. Okay, that's on my name. Okay, you understand that? That's on my name. All right, I'm the leader of this team. I'm in charge of this team. That's on me. I don't point fingers. I don't make excuses. All right, we're going to get this right. I'm not asking them to, be patient through it. I'm just telling you point blank, like I just told the players. I told the players, you just show up on Wednesday, ready to go. That's it. You just show up ready to go. All right? That's it. We'll have a plan for them.
Were you bothered at all by Jason's comments about the O-line this week?
I'm sorry, what's that?
Were you bothered at all by Jason's comments about the O-line this week?
To be honest with you, Dan, I didn't go through every article of what everyone's written. No one's really presented me with a lot of things. I've seen some of the things the coach has said. If there's something that needs to be brought to my attention, it normally is. I didn't see a ton of things that were said. So I'll go ahead and I'll look in the comments and see if there's anything I need to be concerned about.
Is it fair to say, you've come back on it a few times tonight, about you're not putting the players in the good enough position to succeed? That seems to be, you're taking it as, it's more the coaches than the players. Is that a fair read on how you're feeling?
Yeah, put that on down. You can put that down tonight. Got that? You guys can write that tonight. All right? Now, the players got to execute. That's their job, right? It's our job to teach them. It's their job to go out there and execute. But we've got to make sure we keep putting them in a position to have success. And it's got to be consistently that way. So, you can go ahead and write that down, and I'm not going to debate that.
Joe, was there anything injury-related to Saquon? It seemed like once the score got to a certain point, you guys put Booker in there when you were running kind of 4-minute anything with Saquon, or just a matter of taking him out?
No, we're just mixing in. We're just mixing guys in and out. So.
Do you think you guys, like when a guy like Will Hernandez is struggling that badly, do you consider taking him out, or do you think that you guys need to scheme to protect weaknesses better?
I'm not going to speak. This is not directly at Will, so I don't want this skewed in any way, shape, or form about Will. Let's be clear about that right there. I'm going to watch the tape. I'm going to evaluate everything. Every player, every coach, make all decisions that are best for a team going forward. So simply put on that, everything's accounted for, everything's evaluated, and everything will be evaluated going forward. So that is not directly at Will. I don't want something skewed and turn around because he was part of that question. But any player, any coach, everything's evaluated. Everybody good, guys? All right, guys, travel safe. We'll see you back there.
That sound from head coach Joe Judge was brought to you by Ford. An interesting thing that I saw there or heard here, Kenny Golladay was targeted twice, had one catch. Joe Judge was asked about that, and he said, you know what, it's not enough. It's more than one, but it's not enough. What do you make of that, Victor?
I just make that, he needs his best players to be out there making plays. And if your best player is a wide receiver, like him being the number one wide receiver that he gets paid to be in, that he's expected to be on the field, you got to give him the ball. You got to give him some touches in the screen game. Put him in the backfield for all I care. Get him a toss. Put the ball in his hands. Put your ball in the playmaker's hands and just let them start making plays. Get them acclimated. I remember guys like AB with the Steelers and Big Ben. First play of the game, you could bank on it. AB's getting a screen. He's getting something to get the ball in his hands just so he can get things going, so he can feel the ball, get integrated into the game. And that's what I think they're just not doing a good job of with Golladay, is getting him integrated into the game early on.
And it's not just Golladay, too. He did kind of highlight, hey, my expectations are high, but we have to do a better job of putting the players in a position to be successful. He said, I told the players, just show up on Wednesday and be ready to work, Shaun.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, there's a lot has to happen even before Wednesday gets there, because when a coach says, hey, we're going to go through the tape and we're going to correct things, look, it's going to take them a long time because there's a lot to correct. And, to your point about how does Golladay get more involved in the offense, here's how you get more involved. If you're an offense trying to get receivers the football, stay on the field. You go 1 for 9 on third down, guess what? Nobody's getting targets because you're on the sideline. So that is crucial for this offense right now, to get some rhythm, to get some efficiency. You've got to convert on third down. You've got to kind of layer some of these plays. You've got to layer some of the game plan, and then that's when the big chunk plays come. So I think, look, there's a lot of corrections to be made. I think the frustrating thing, if you're a Giants fan right now, you're nodding your head when Joe Judge says it's not your job to be patient, because you're saying, yes, we have lost all of our patience. It's not about the Giants getting beat. It's not about them physically getting beat or losing to a better team. It's about them beating themselves. Here we are in week 11, and we have penalties at the wrong time. I mean, 3rd and 21, there are no play calls. I don't care who you are. Bring back Vince Lombardi from the dead if you want. He can't convert on 3rd and 21.
Yeah, and to your point about the offense being on the field, Giants had the ball 24 minutes, Tampa 35, 11 minutes more. It's definitely a lopsided balance right there. All right, we got a lot more coming up on the show after the break. We're going to hear from Giants quarterback Daniel Jones. That and much more as Giants Postgame Live continues after this short break.
Not again.
For the gifts you won't forget, the Mercedes-Benz Winter Event. Get a credit toward your first month's payment on select models.
The Hess truck's back. It's a cargo plane and jet flying through the sky. This year, the Hess truck's here.
This holiday season, Hess gives you twice the high-flying action. The huge cargo plane has lights and a rear-loading cargo bay. Unfold the jet wings and take flight with button and motion-activated sounds. Free shipping and Energizer batteries included. Only at HessToyTruck.com.
A tradition each year. The Hess truck's here.
Happy holidays from Hess.
Are you ready for flu season? With kids back in school and many people returning to work, we need to prepare for both flu and COVID this fall and winter. Protect yourself, your family, and your community by getting both vaccines. Everyone should get a flu shot. And now, anyone 5 and older can get a COVID vaccine too. Talk to your healthcare provider about getting both flu and COVID-19 vaccines. Learn more at health.ny.gov/flu.
There's really only one number that matters in sports. The number one. That's why FanDuel built the #1 rated sportsbook app with the most popular parlays and faster payouts. Winnings hitting your bank account in as little as 2 hours. So if you want the best, bet with the best. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers download FanDuel Sportsbook today and get an exclusive risk-free bet up to $1,000.
Today's matchup is presented by Visa, a network giving small businesses tools to grow. Giants went down to Tampa and fell to the Buccaneers 30-10 on Monday Night Football. A tough loss for the New York Football Giants. Now we send it down to Tampa again to hear from quarterback Daniel Jones. Oh, all right. Well, we've got a little bit of a delay until we'll hear from the quarterback. So you know what?
Very fitting.
That in the business is called a plot twist, ladies and gentlemen. So you got a little bit more of us as we hear, wait for Daniel Jones to be ready.
Pancakes, I think is the slogan right there.
There you go. But, you know, Daniel Jones, who will be coming to the podium in a short while, 160 yards passing and a touchdown. And you know what? Now he's ready. So let's just send it down to him here. We'll hear from him right now.
What do you think of the overall offensive performance?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly didn't execute, didn't do what we were planning to do going into the game, and you know, there wasn't much that was good enough. So you know, we've got to look at it, and you know, we'll see it on the film. We'll see exactly what we got to do better, but certainly a lot to look at, a lot to improve on.
Daniel, Joe was just in here. He said that if he was a player, he'd be frustrated with the coaching, and that he told the players to just show up on Wednesday. It sounds like there's going to be changes. Do you expect there to be changes in the offensive coaching situation?
No, I mean, I haven't thought about that, and you know, I know as players, certainly myself, you know, feel responsible for how we played and executed, and that's on me, that's on us to do better. I think you know, we were put in position to make plays, and we've got to make them, you know, and that certainly starts with me. I felt like we were prepared, and we had a good game plan going in.
Do you think the offense still has faith in Jason?
Yeah, I certainly do.
Why?
We do.
I guess.
Like I said, I think we were prepared. I think we had a plan, and we didn't execute it. So, you know, I think we feel responsible as players.
Why was Kenny only targeted twice?
You know, I think, you know, him, I think a lot of guys, you know, we certainly wanted to get more involved, and we didn't. So, you know, he's a big-time player for us, and we got to get him more involved. That starts with me and finding him in some certain situations and getting him the ball. So, you know, him as well as, you know, the rest of the guys, we got to get everyone involved.
That sound from Giants quarterback Daniel Jones is brought to you by Ford. As you can see, his stats here tonight at Tampa. 23 completions on 38 attempts, 167 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. One of the things that stood out to me that he said, Victor, was, you know, we were prepared, we had a plan, we just didn't execute. How do you get from A to B in that space?
Well, I think it takes the week of practice, and I think what Daniel Jones is alluding to is being in those meeting rooms with Coach Jason Garrett, going through the game plan, going through film so you can watch and see just how you can attack this football team, and understanding how to do that all week long. Obviously, Wednesday you start with first and second down. Thursday's a third down day. So he's saying he's in the trenches, going through these game plans, going through these things with Jason Garrett, and just sometimes on game day, either those calls aren't being called or the game is kind of being skewed in a different direction, is going in a different way, so you're calling different things. So that's probably why the execution wasn't there, but there's no excuse for some of the discipline lapses that were happening and some of the lack of execution on third down that we spoke about earlier. So yes, I think they're putting the work in, but for some reason it just isn't translating on game day when it really should. When you have good weeks of practice, which we've all been there, it usually translates to game day, and for some reason it just isn't happening right now.
Yeah, especially coming off of a bye week. You know, every year you look at where your bye week is. You know, that week is when we're going to go back and look at our self-scouting. We're going to find out our tendencies. Here's what we do out of this formation. When we run the football on first down, is it always to this direction? So you find out all those things, and then you fix them and you change them. And yet it didn't seem like there was a lot of change. I think the one thing that the Giants continue to struggle with this year, we certainly saw it tonight, is first down production. When you are successful on first down, and success can mean different things. It can mean 2 yards, 3 yards, or 4 yards. But when you have a loss, a tackle for a loss, when you have a penalty, when you have a drop, when you have an incompletion, that sets you back. And now you're fighting uphill all night long. You're against the sticks. And look, when the Giants are down big and they're trying to fight back in, this is when they struggle the most. Mm-hmm. Will Hernandez's name came up with Joe Judge when he was talking about with the media. And look, it's not an attack on Will Hernandez. It's not an attack on any one particular offensive lineman. But in the NFL, defensive linemen get paid a lot of money too. They're really good at getting after quarterback. And guess what? When you're one-dimensional and they know you're trying, all you're doing is throwing the football, it changes everything. And the Giants are not good when they're one-dimensional. They're not good enough to just say, look, we can find our way to battle back into this game by throwing the football. They need to be balanced. They need to run the football on first and second down.
Well, and, you know, when you're playing from behind, that sense of urgency and anxiety sets in, and maybe things get a little bit off balance in that space as well. All right, we got a lot more coming up on the show. After the break, we're going to hear from Andrew Thomas, the man who caught the lone touchdown for the New York Giants tonight. That and much more coming up on Giants Postgame Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz. We'll be right back.
90 years in the game.
And counting. This is our house. We built this house.
It wasn't easy.
We had to rewrite the playbook.
You gotta have the right plays. That's how you do it.
Who's the MVP?
I am. John.
She is.
Without me, this wouldn't exist.
We gotta bring everybody in.
Because that's how we all win.
This Black Friday, get holiday ready with Ford. America's best-selling trucks are here and capable SUVs are rolling out. Get great offers on the Ford that's right for you, like Ford Explorer, America's all-time best-selling SUV, and Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 44 years straight. So this Black Friday, get holiday ready with Ford. Right now, get the F-150 or Ranger with 0% financing for 60 months plus $500 bonus cash. View more Black Friday deals at buyfordnow.com.
Truck's back, it's a cargo plane and jet flying through the sky. This year, the Hess Truck's here.
This holiday season, Hess gives you twice the high-flying action. The huge cargo plane has lights and a rear-loading cargo bay. Unfold the jet wings and take flight with button and motion-activated sounds. Free shipping and Energizer batteries included. Only at HessToyTruck.com.
A tradition each year, the Hess Truck's here.
Happy holidays from Hess.
Hey, our reservation's at 7.
I am ready.
Great.
You look nice.
Thank you.
They may have won their battles, but who will win the war? Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos Jr. Saturday, November 27th. Download the DAZN app.
Welcome back, Giants fans. Here's another chance to see the Giants play in person. Watch them take on the Philadelphia Eagles next week at MetLife by entering the Giants Postgame Live Watch and Win sweepstakes. Scan the QR code on the screen with your smartphone or go directly to msgnetworks.com to sign up. And this week's keyword is rivalry. Very appropriate for this matchup against the Eagles. Use it when you sign up for your chance to win the tickets and a parking pass to next week's game, Giants-Eagles at MetLife Stadium. You don't want to miss out. Scan the QR code or head to the website and make your entry. All right, we got to send back down to Tampa Bay, where we're going to hear from Giants left tackle Andrew Thomas.
What was Joe's message to you guys after the game?
This game is over with. In 6 days, we play Philly. To come in Wednesday, with our minds right, hair on fire, to get better and get ready for that game.
How would you describe the state of the team right now?
Obviously a tough loss, but we're going to rally together. The biggest thing that we talked about in the locker room is not pointing the finger. Everyone looking in the mirror, and fixing whatever they have to get better.
What do you think it's going to take for this offense to start scoring like offenses in that you guys, the last year and a half, just really haven't scored as much as a lot of these teams do? Like, what do you think it's going to take to get there?
I think it's just consistency. In a lot of games that we play, we move the ball really well, but we get in key situations, and Coach Judge says it all the time. Everyone can't have a my bad, and that's what happens sometimes. Whether it's me, someone else, everyone has a play, and when you're playing against great teams, you can't do that. Everyone has to execute, every play. So that's the key to winning.
That sound from Andrew Thomas was brought to you by Ford. We've got a lot more coming up on the program. After the break, we'll hear from Saquon Barkley, that and much more as Giants Postgame Live continues. Stay with us here on MSG Networks. We've got more to come.
Game day. A minute to the kick. And it's not a kickoff without Dave on the door. What's up, Dave? It's not a kickoff without Manny's or Mickey's packed and shoulder to shoulder. Without Scatino's famous ziti. So raise your glass and kick off a crown. Join us and we'll donate to the small places that make game day big.
One thing we know for sure is things are always changing. So there are still reasons you may need COVID-19 testing. And Quest has options for the whole family. Available at no cost to you. Simply schedule a test online for a nearby location and get your test results back as soon as the next day. Millions of people like you have trusted Quest for their COVID-19 testing. So schedule your test today at questcovid19.com. That's questcovid19.com.
With DraftKings Sportsbook's latest offer, new customers can bet just $1 on any NFL game and win $100 if any point is scored. A chip shot field goal? You win. A TD pass? You win. A sack in the offense's own end zone, thereby resulting in a safety awarded to the defense? Yeah, you win. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Sign up with the promo code. Bet $1 to win $100 if any point is scored, and make it rain with an official sports betting partner of the NFL.
The holidays are coming, a time to reunite with family and loved ones. And Blinds to Go's big sale is back, just in time to get your home ready for the holidays. Right now, save up to 25% on everything throughout the store. The more you buy, the more you save, up to 25% off. During Blinds to Go's big sale, save on all blinds, shades, drapes, and shutters, up to 25% off. There's never been a better time to brighten up your home for the holidays. Blinds to Go, we make it easy.
Hey, Giants fans, check out the Eli Manning Show presented by Dunkin'. All you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch the latest episodes and all of our Eli's extras. Head to YouTube and check out the Giants channel to see all the latest Eli Manning show clips. It's not a bad show. It's a pretty solid show.
He's kind of funny.
It's a pretty quality show. I mean, you might see some cameos from these fellas and stuff like that. But you know what? While we discuss who's got the best cameo on the Eli Manning show, we're going to send it back down to Tampa and hear from Saquon Barkley.
I was upset with the outcome, but it feels good to get back out there and play the sport that I love, and just got to come back to work and get better each week.
Do you feel healthy? I mean, it looked like you kind of were banged up at times there. Do you feel like you were back?
It's not the bang up thing. It's just getting my feet caught back up again. It's a little frustrating. Have to sit out again and come back and feel like how it was with week one, getting my feet caught back up. But that just comes with missing a little time and just get my body back. And I'm gonna do whatever it takes to continue to get my body back, to get my brain and my feet and my legs caught up together. And that starts with this week. Obviously, we got a short week. We got a big game coming up against the Eagles, and just take it one day at a time and one rep at a time and get better.
Why do you think you guys struggle so hard to score?
We got to execute. It's just that simple. We got to execute, make plays, and we're not doing that.
There are some teams, though, that run different schemes to get skilled players in space. Like, do you feel like you guys could be put in better positions? It seemed like your head coach thought that you're not being put in optimal positions as players to succeed. Like, what do you think of that idea?
As a player, I feel like that obviously there's different schemes all around, but at the end of the day, everyone's running pretty much the same thing if you really break it down. And as players, we're not making plays. It's just that simple. We got to go out there and make plays. And it starts with myself as a leader, all the way down from all of us on the offensive side. We are a very talented group, and we believe in each other, but we're not doing it. That's just that simple. We're not going out there. We're not making the plays that need to be made, and that starts with me.
That sound from Saquon Barkley was brought to you by Ford. But coming back from an injury, you guys both are very familiar with this. It takes time to really get back into game form. Victor, what are you noticing about the way that Saquon is playing right now?
Yeah, it's a little frustrating for me, even just as a fan, because prior to the injury, you saw that he was getting his footing back, right? He was starting to get that turnover back, starting to make those open field moves that we're used to him making. And then he got hurt. He had the high ankle and things like that, which he lost some time for. Just comes back off of that. And you can kind of see that his upper body is starting to make those movements, but his lower body isn't catching up just yet. But that takes a little while. It takes a couple weeks to kind of bring those two elements back together, working cohesively together in the same way, so that we can see him make all those moves and those lateral direction moves that we're used to him making. But it still takes a little minute to connect the brain with the feet and the ankles and the legs. It takes a week or two to kind of get that momentum back.
Yeah, no doubt. It's fun to see Saquon back, but it's clear that he's not back. He's not the 2.6 that everybody has grown to love and appreciate. And the one thing that just jumps out at you, you saw it tonight, normally when Saquon gets the football, the first guy never takes him down. Right? He makes that guy miss. He breaks the tackle, and he just isn't there yet because he doesn't have his sea legs, Captain Dan, or Lieutenant Dan. And I think for Saquon, he knows it, and he's trying to get back into that game shape, have that spring, have that juice, have that burst, which is what makes him such a great player and so hard to tackle. I mean, his acceleration is second to none. He doesn't quite have that right now, but I love that he's taking accountability, and I love that he's saying, look, we have to make plays. He's wearing the Nike slogan right there. Pretty sure their slogan is just do it. That's pretty much what he was saying.
Yeah, and hey, building towards that, it does take time, and the patience of coming back from an injury is something that's tough to face. But for any player, this is just part of the process, and you got to trust it. All right, we got a little bit more of this show coming up after this break. Stay with us as we close it out here on Giants Postgame Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz. We'll be right back.
Pikes Peak, named after Zebulon Pike, who never made it to the top. Of course, he didn't own a sedan from our Sport Tune GT lineup. Well, Zebulon, this one's for you. Lease a new 2021 Forte LXS for $139 a month.
The Hess truck's back. It's a cargo plane and jet flying through the sky. This year, the Hess truck's here.
This holiday season, Hess gives you twice the high-flying action. The huge cargo plane has lights and a rear-loading cargo bay. Unfold the jet wings and take flight with button and motion-activated sounds. Free shipping and Energizer batteries included. Only at HessToyTruck.com.
A tradition each year, the Hess truck's here.
Happy holidays from Hess.
I'll tell you, I loved every minute of my time playing for the New York Giants. It was a huge part of my life. These days, I still carry my team spirit with me every time I use my Giants debit card from Investors Bank.
Open a New York Giants checking account from Investors Bank with free cell phone and ID theft protection. Plus, you can earn up to $250.
Once a Giant, always a Giant. And now, I'm a fan too.
Open a Giants checking account online today.
Hey, Dad. Miss us?
Reflect on the past, celebrate the future. Season's greetings from Audi.
Giants fans, scan here right now and you can win big prizes from Big Blue every week. Just for watching Giants Postgame live on MSG and entering a special keyword at MSGNetworks.com. You can win tickets, signed merch, and more. Giants Postgame Live Watch and Win Sweepstakes. Sign up now.
Let's go! Trend. 58-16. Tips. Are you seeing this? Guess that know a guy who knows a guy. You gotta be fired up.
The NBA is back. Let's make some money.
Welcome into the better half hour. My favorite time to dance. All right.
Welcome back, and we move forward. Giants host the Philadelphia Eagles next Sunday at MetLife Stadium. Michael Strahan having his jersey retired at halftime. Of course, a division game always holds more weight. Giants looking ahead to this Eagles team. Still a little bit going on in the middle of the NFC East. What do you make of this matchup?
Yeah, it's a tough matchup for the Giants defense right now with the way Jalen Hurts is playing. 3 rushing touchdowns last week. They scored 40 points against the Saints, which has a top 5 rushing defense. So this will be a big challenge. Maybe they want to wait until after the game to retire Strahan's jersey. Maybe let him put it on one more time because he loves taking down the Eagles.
Yeah, that was his favorite team to play against. And I think, it's going to be tough. Jalen Hurts has been playing incredible football lately, especially one move he made when he kind of eluded a guy.
Well, Allen Iverson crossover.
Oh, man, I was watching the highlights like, we're going to have to contend with that next week. So it'll be a tall task for the Giants, but let's see what happens.
Well, and that combined, too, with the way that they've been running the ball lately, too. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia has been running at 200 yards per game on the ground. That's going to be a run defense challenge for this Giants team.
Back. So we've got the battle of the Penn State Nittany Lion running backs with Miles Sanders and Saquon.
Hey, you know what? It's always a good time when it's an NFC East game. We hope the Giants fans are out there in full force showing their support. We will be back after the game, live after every game for Giants Postgame Live for Victor Cruz, Shaun O'Hara, and our entire crew, and Madelyn Burke.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Turkey Day.